Hello everybody and welcome back. I'm Grandmastergrump and this is Deathtrap Dungeon Part 3. I thought this was only going to last about 60 minutes to, I don't know, maybe a little bit longer, but it seems like we're just getting into it. Well, I say getting into it. I don't know how long we've got left, to be honest with you. In the last one, we killed one of our compadres that we formed an alliance with, which was a bit shitty, but we had no choice. I'm doing pretty crap now on my provisions. So as predicted, I was, thinking, well, why am I doing so well? But yeah, I'm starting to do a bit crap now. So that's what I thought would happen. So let's see how I get on with the rest of this. So without further ado, let's crack on. Oh, shall I swing a punch at him? I'm going to die, but fuck it. I want to do it. I want to do it.
The dwarf is expecting your move.
Yeah, I know.
Furthermore, you are not as fast as you should be because of your recent ordeal.
I know.
So he easily evades your punch, saying,
I could kill you now if I wished, but I yearn for a hand-to-hand fight.
Then he throws down his crossbow and draws an axe from his belt. Despite your fatigue, you think only of vengeance. Because of your condition, you must reduce your skill by 2 for the duration of the battle.
No way. This guy's going to kick my ass, isn't he? Yes.
Not ready with your sword, you kick out at the dwarf, but it catches onto your leg, flipping you backwards and smashing your head on the ground.
Okay, come on.
You lunge at the dwarf's stomach with your sword drawn.
Okay.
It tries to move, but you land a painful blow.
One more. One more.
You run at the dwarf, but it's ready for you.
I
And lands
won.
a punch square.
I fucking won.
The now dead dwarf's chainmail
Well, it's
coat
dead anyway.
is of the finest quality iron,
Cool.
obviously made by a master armorer. You strip it from his body and place it over your head, gaining you 1 skill point.
Yes.
There is nothing else of use to you in the chamber, so you decide to investigate the new tunnel, which soon divides into 2. You hear a buzzing sound
not
coming
again.
from the western branch.
Right, so what have I got in here? I don't think I can do shit with this, but anyway. Let's go to the buzzing.
There is a large panel of glass in the left-hand wall of the tunnel. Through it, you can see a bright, torch-lit room
Oh, look.
teeming with giant insects
God.
of every possible description.
Yeah, I don't want to be in there.
Bees, wasps, beetles, ticks.
Oh, ticks.
Even
Oh, I
the
hate
mites
ticks.
are over 6 centimeters long. The noise is threatening. In the middle of the room, a jeweled crown lies on top of a small table.
I need the jewels.
What
I
looks
need
like
the
a
jewels.
large diamond is
Definitely
set
need the jewels.
in the middle of the crown.
I'm going to do that. Fuck it.
You smash the glass with the hilt of your sword, making a hole big enough to climb through. Immediately, the giant insects start swarming
know.
and jumping towards you. Wasting no time, you clamber into the room, grabbing one of the lit torches to defend yourself.
Yes.
The fire keeps most of the insects at bay, but by the time you have snatched the crown and climbed back into the corridor, some of them have stung you. We'll roll 1 die and add 2 to the total to decide how many stings you have suffered, reducing your stamina by 1 for each sting. The giant insects do not chase you, preferring the bright light of the room they are in. You examine the crown and see with disgust that it is merely painted iron.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And the diamond is just glass and totally worthless. You throw it on the ground in a rage and wonder which way to go next.
For fuck's sake. I'm going to head west.
Ahead, in the far distance, you hear the sound of slow footsteps coming towards you. Unsure of who or what might be approaching, you look around for a place to hide. You see a large crack in the tunnel wall
shield.
which lies in shadow.
No, let's stand my ground. Fuck it.
A crippled man with shackled feet shuffles into sight, carrying a wooden tray laden with bread and water.
Oh, nice.
He looks tired and miserable, and quite unmoved by the sight of you, and tries to walk past.
Offer him some of your provisions, take the bread off his tray. I'm going to offer him some stuff.
He eyes you suspiciously as you offer him a portion of your provisions. But hunger overcomes his fear and he crams the food into his mouth.
Give me something good, dude.
You ask him what he is doing in the tunnels. And he explains that he is a servant of one of the trial masters, Baron Sukumvit's appointed controllers of sections of his dungeon.
Okay.
He tells you he would like to escape, but no one is allowed to leave the dungeon in case the secret of its construction is revealed. You tell him that you are a contestant in the Trial of Champions and that you would appreciate any help. Rubbing his chin, he turns to you and says, "One good turn deserves another."
Yes, exactly.
All I can tell you is that in a northern tunnel, there is a wooden chair carved in the shape of a demon bird. There is a secret panel in the arm of the chair, which contains a potion in a glass vial. It's a doppelganger potion.
Okay.
Now, I must go back about my duties. Good luck.
Good luck.
I hope we meet again outside these infernal tunnels. The man then shuffles off.
Wow.
And you continue your journey west.
West.
After a short while,
go north.
you arrive at another junction in the tunnel.
Yeah, go north.
With a choice of two directions.
North.
Set back in the arched alcove in the tunnel wall, you see an ornate wooden chair carved in the shape of a demon-like bird of prey.
Sit in the chair.
Remembering the old man's advice, you search the arm of the chair for a secret panel. You find an almost invisible crack in the arm, which you start to press and squeeze. Suddenly a tiny panel springs out of the arm, and you see a glass vial lying in a cavity.
Do I trust him, though?
You pick it out and read the label. Doppelganger potion, 1 dose only. This liquid will make you assume the shape of any nearby living being. You place the strange potion in your backpack and continue north, where the tunnel starts to slope downwards and finally comes to an end at a deep pool enclosed by the tunnel wall. The words of the spirit girl's poem flash through your mind. When corridor doth water meet, do not make a quick retreat. Of course, it is here that she wants you to dive into the water.
Yes.
Now, you must decide what to do.
I'll dive into the water.
Somewhat nervously, you take a deep breath and dive into the dark pool. The northern wall does not project very far beneath the surface of the water, and you decide to take the risk to swim under it.
Yeah, don't get trapped.
Soon, you start gasping for air and are forced to swim upwards. Trying not to think that you could be trapped in an old submerged tunnel, you are relieved when you surface into cool air.
Where am I? Oh, okay. So there's a little thing there. Good, good, good.
You are on the other side of the wall and can see the tunnel rising out of the water and continuing north into the distance. You wade out of the water and check if you've been lucky with the contents of your wet backpack.
Am I lucky?
2 portions of your provisions are saturated and are now inedible.
For fuck's sake.
Other than that, all your other possessions remain
Be
intact.
munching on them too much.
You repack them carefully inside your backpack.
Is that health?
And set off north again.
Stamina.
A little way along on the left of the tunnel wall, You reach the entrance of a large
Eat
cabin
that.
from which you hear a girl's voice crying for help. You can just make out the shape of a human figure rolling about on the floor at the back of the cabin.
Investigate.
As you approach the prostrate figure, you see she is an elf, one of
the
your
elf.
rivals in the Trial of Champions, and she is fighting for her life in the bone-crushing grip of an enormous boa constrictor.
Help fight it.
With one swipe of your trusty blade, you behead the boa
Yeah.
constrictor. You uncoil its massive body from around the elf
Another compadre
and try to resuscitate her.
Oh.
Her eyes open a
Yes.
little, but you can see that there is no
Oh,
hope.
balls.
She looks at you and smiles, and then says in a whisper, "Thank you. I know it's too late for me,
What?
but I will tell you what I've learned.
If you can talk, you can breathe.
Your way out lies ahead.
Should be all right, unless it's
But you need gems to unlock
crushed
the final
your
door.
it's crushed the ribs.
One of them is a diamond,
Yes,
but I do not know what the others are.
man.
Alas, I have not found a diamond, but would urge you to look for one."
Yeah, well, where the fuck am I going to get one from?
Her eyes close, and she slumps down on
I hope this is like... Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Okay, I didn't know I could do that. Right, so basically... Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, for fuck's sake. Man. No. Can I just go back and do shit? I did not realise this. So... What a prick. I don't know what these ones are. What's that? It's a save point. They're just save points. I'm not going back there. Right, let's just push on anyway.
to the cold floor. You watch sadly as she breathes her last, knowing she would
I hope
not
this is
mind
quite
you
linear.
take 2 of her daggers and search her leather backpack. Inside, you find some unleavened bread, a
Awesome.
mirror, and a bone charm in the shape of a monkey.
Eat the bread. Take the mirror and the charm. Yes.
Walking along the tunnel, you notice an iron grill in the floor.
Lift it. Lift it, guys. Come on.
Lying in a hole about a meter deep, you see a grappling iron and a leather pouch.
Take it.
You reach down into the hole and suddenly your blood runs cold as you feel something warm and sticky wrapping itself around your arm. You manage to pull your arm out of the hole, but a hideous tentacled limb with unbelievably strong suckers is clinging to you. By the time you manage to cut yourself free, your arm is trembling with pain,
Bollocks.
and you wonder whether luck is on your
Yeah,
side.
of course it is.
Having had the sense not to put your sword arm into the hole, the effects of the tentacled arm are not too serious, meaning you only lose 1 skill point.
What do you mean only?
You reach back into the hole and pull out the grappling iron and the leather pouch. Inside the pouch, you find a tiny brass bell. You pack away your new possessions and continue.
Okay.
north.
Yeah, so I'm hoping this is linear and it's just going to take me to where I
The
need to
door
go
comes
to get
into view in the
the
left-hand
diamond.
wall of the tunnel. You listen carefully at it and hear nothing. The door is not locked, and the handle turns easily.
Right, so I think, because look, I'm still going onwards and onwards here. I'm not sure if I can go back. No, fuck it. I'm going to keep going because I'm not sure if I can sort of go from one to the other. So open the door. Why not?
The door opens into a small dark room which is empty apart from a sturdy wooden chest lying on a shelf.
Oh, come on, have a diamond in
wall.
it, please, for God's sake.
The floor is thick with dust, and you can clearly see fresh footprints leading from the door to the chest and back again. You wonder whether one of your rivals is still ahead of you on the wall.
I think it's just the assassin
or
left.
whether the chest has only recently been placed on the shelf by one of the trial masters. Although you check the chest carefully for any hidden devices, you are unable to see the trap inside it. As you lift the lid, an iron ball hanging on a cord swings back, shattering the glass capsule fixed inside the lid. A cloud of poisonous gas is instantly released into the air, and you stagger back, coughing and spluttering, losing 4 stamina points. Once the gas is cleared, you walk back to the chest and look inside. There is a pendant chain lying in the bottom of it. But somebody has already removed the stone from its setting.
Fuck's sake.
This annoys you so much that you throw the chain onto the floor and storm out of the room and up the tunnel. The tunnel starts to widen, and ahead you see it's opened into a huge
nothing
cavern
left to eat.
from where you can hear the sound of many high-pitched voices. You creep up to the entrance and take a look inside. There are about 20 tiny people with long noses and ears running in a circle around a large golden effigy.
Drink it.
You pour the contents of the glass vial into your mouth and swallow the clear liquid.
Do it.
Although you do not feel any immediate change, you hope that the potion will create the illusion that you are a troglodyte, just like the ones in front of you. Taking a deep breath, you step boldly into the cavern. The troglodytes continue their tribal dance, believing you to be one of them. You walk past them casually and head north. Unfortunately, the effects of the potion are short-lived. Suddenly, you hear a shriek behind you as one of the troglodytes spots you, and you are forced to run across the cavern floor. Ahead, you see an underground river running east to west through the cavern, and a wooden bridge crossing over it.
Run over the bridge.
After crossing the bridge, you run across the cavern floor. At last, you see a tunnel in the far wall.
There's a lot to this, isn't there, guys? I thought it would be a lot quicker than this.
Wooden door. The door is locked.
Oh.
As you try to charge down the door with your shoulder, you hear the shrieking voices of the troglodytes coming down the tunnel. You are trapped and draw your sword. The troglodytes approach you, their bows drawn. And a hail of arrows strikes you with fatal impact. Your lifeless body slumps to the ground in the depths of Deathtrap Dungeon.
You fucker. Right, let's do this then. Play it.
The tunnel starts to widen.
I'm going to try and creep past the fuckers. Walk up and talk to them.
As soon as they see you, the troglodytes raise their bows and run to surround you. To your horror, their leader then steps forward and declares that you are their prisoner and must subject yourself to trial by the ancient rite.
Ooh, this is different.
The run of the arrow.
I'll take part in it. Fuck it. Why not?
In their twittering voices, the troglodytes explain the rules of the run of the arrow.
Okay.
They will shoot an arrow into the distance, and you will be allowed to walk unharmed to the point where it lands.
Okay.
However, you must walk barefoot, and you can see that the floor of the cavern is littered with sharp stones. As soon as you reach the arrow, the troglodytes will start to chase you, and if they catch you, they will kill you. Suddenly, one of the troglodytes releases an arrow high into the air. It lands a long way away, and immediately The troglodytes urge you to walk towards it. As you walk slowly towards the arrow, you hear the troglodytes screaming excitedly behind you. On reaching the arrow, you look round to see the troglodytes wave their arms in the air and set off after them. You start running as fast as you can. Your feet, bleeding from the cuts inflicted by the sharp stones, decreases your stamina by 1 point. Ahead, you see an underground river running east to west across the cabin floor.
Yeah. I know where I've got to go.
With a wooden bridge crossing it.
Dive into the river.
Still running as fast as you can, you reach into your backpack and pull out the wooden tube.
What?
You plan to lie under the surface of the water, breathing through the tube. With luck, the troglodytes will assume that you were swept to your death downriver as the torrent disappears into the depths of the mountain.
Oh, cool. Hopefully.
You bite the tube between your teeth and lower yourself into the water. Holding on to one of the underwater bridge pillars, you keep perfectly still for 10 minutes. When you finally think the troglodytes have gone, you rise to the surface and look around. There is nobody to be seen. So you climb out of the river and cross the bridge to the northern bank.
Have I got my shoes?
You are soaked, so unfortunately any remaining provisions you may have are now inedible.
Yeah.
You continue to walk through the vast cabin until at last you see a tunnel in the far wall.
There we go.
You walk down it until you come to a heavy wooden door, which is locked. As you try to charge down the door with your shoulder, you hear the shrieking voices of the troglodytes
for fuck's sake.
Coming down the tunnel. You are trapped and draw your sword. The troglodytes approach you, their bows drawn.
I'm dead.
And a hail of arrows strikes you with fatal impact.
Yeah.
Your lifeless body slumps to the ground.
Okay, so...
The tunnel starts to widen.
Right, so I'm going to, this time, creep past the fuckers.
You crawl along the floor, and you find yourself in the lair of a tribe of troglodytes. As you creep past them, your scabbard bangs against the rock on the floor.
Of course it fucking does.
Do you have enough luck for them not to hear you?
Yes. I have loads of luck, mate.
The troglodytes are too involved in their tribal dancing to hear the clatter of your sword, and you crawl past.
Yes.
When you think you are far enough away, you stand up and run across the cabin floor. Ahead, you see an underground river running east to west through the cabin with a wooden bridge crossing over it. Hearing a noise, you glance back and realize you have been spotted.
Okay, so...
The troglodytes are chasing you.
I ran over the bridge last time. I couldn't do fuck all about it. I'll just dive into the river.
Still running as fast as you can, you reach into your backpack and pull out the wooden tube. As you try to charge down the door with your shoulder, you hear the shrieking voices.
Am I just stuck now? Maybe if I creep past...
The tunnel starts to widen.
Try to creep past them. I should be okay.
The troglodytes are too involved.
Run over the bridge.
After crossing the bridge, you run across the cabin floor. At last, you see a tunnel in the far wall, which you race down until you reach its end at a heavy wooden door.
Yeah.
The door is locked. As you try to charge down the door with your shoulder, you hear the shriek.
So I'm dead. I can't. So I have to go back. So if I go here.
After a short while.
Right. So I'm going to keep heading west now. Okay.
The tunnel turns sharply to the right and continues north for as far as you can see.
That was interesting. So
there is a door in the left-hand
no matter what I did
wall,
before,
which is ajar,
I was going to die
and
anyway.
You hear someone cry for help from the other side of it.
Open the door.
The door
Yeah, that's cool.
opens into a small room with a straw-covered
I
floor.
swear that Buddha guy
There is
had
a large
like,
draped
a diamond
cage
in him.
standing some 2 meters high in the center of the room. A cord fixed to the top of the drape runs through an iron ring in the ceiling and hangs down to the floor.
Pull the drape. Why not? What's the worst that could happen?
You pull the cord and watch the drape as it rises up the sides of an iron cage.
Food and stuff back now.
The woman's voice urges you to be quick, telling you that the room is booby-trapped, so that the floor will fall away in 1 minute because of your extra weight.
I wish to help her.
The drape rises to the top of the cage, and there, to your horror,
oh, God.
you see the face of an aged woman.
Okay.
Whose hair is a mass of seething snakes.
Medusa.
It is the dreaded Medusa. Are you lucky enough to avoid her gaze?
Yes.
Recognizing the snake-like head of the Medusa, you close your eyes to avoid her deadly stare that would turn you to stone.
Wow. Cool. Yeah, let's do that. Why not?
The Medusa shrieks as you enter her cage, keeping your eyes firmly closed and slashing your sword wildly from side to side. You feel the blade sink deep into her side and hear a loud thud as she slumps heavily to the ground. You open your eyes again and shudder at the sight of the prostrate figure of the Medusa. Her gown is fastened by a large brooch bearing a single bright red gem. It is a garnet.
Hey, I've got a gem.
And you prize it out of
Fucking
its setting,
finally.
put it in your pocket.
Yes.
And leave the room to head north.
Oh, thank fuck for that.
The tunnel continues for quite a distance before you reach a junction.
Okay, so I'm going to continue north this time.
A brown velvet curtain is draped over an archway in the eastern wall of the tunnel.
Pull back the curtain.
You enter a cold room, divided by a deep chasm. A rope is stretched taut across the chasm to the far side.
A room with a chasm.
Where a magnificent winged helmet rests on top
a big room.
of a pole.
I want that helmet. I want the goddamn...
Testing every last drop of your skill.
I want that helmet.
You step nervously onto the rope, not daring to look down.
Yeah, I don't like heights.
Halfway across, you start to panic and lose your footing.
Why?
Walking on a rope like this requires skill. Well, test yours.
Shit.
As you fall, you manage to grab the rope with your hands. Slowly, you haul yourself over to the far side and scramble up onto the floor.
Which one's is that skill?
You lift the helmet off the pole and put it on your head.
Yes.
It has been made by a highly skilled ironsmith.
Got a helmet.
And increases your skill by 1 point.
Thank God for that.
Not wanting to risk walking back across the tightrope, you decide to crawl along it.
Yep.
Safely back on
Why
firm
didn't I do that in the
ground,
first place?
You step through the archway and head north, up the tunnel.
Cool.
The tunnel continues north a long way before turning sharp right. Around the corner you come to a dead end. Only the mouth of a wooden chute in the wall offers any hope of further progress. You decide to take a chance and climb into the chute. You slide gently down and emerge into a room, landing on your back. As soon as you stand up, you are confronted by the most repulsive sight you have ever laid eyes on. There in front of you, wallowing in a circular pool of fetid slime, is a bulbous creature too horrible to be
that's that
believed.
creature, isn't it?
Its body is green and covered all over with fearsome-looking spikes. Its face is a
only got
mass
one
of
fucking
crimson
jewel.
blisters, one of which suddenly bursts to reveal yet another of its many sinister, all-seeing eyes.
Nice.
A narrow path runs around the edge of the pool and leads into another tunnel in the far wall. Remembering the description of the vile blood beast and the warning about the toxic gas rising from its pool, you cover your mouth with your sleeve and step forward with your sword drawn, wary of the blood beast's tongue. As you step around the side of the pool, it rolls forward and flicks out its tongue. But you are ready for it.
Oh, yeah.
And cleave it with one swipe of your
Nice.
sword. The beast howls in pain and stretches forward, frantically, trying to clasp you between its blood-filled jaws. You start hacking at its hideous face in an attempt to pierce its real eyes.
Okay. Oh, fuck. Okay, we can do this. It's got more than me, but we can do this.
The blood beast's tail whips around
motherfucker.
you. You duck, but not
maybe
quickly
we can't
enough.
do this.
And it punctures your arm.
Shit. Okay, let's...
Breathing heavily during your fight,
Fuck's sake.
you begin to succumb to the toxic gas and fall, cracking your head on the floor.
Eat. God damn it, eat. Do that. Come on then. One more.
Again, the bulbous creature strikes
One
you
out of
with
three.
its
That's just
hideous fangs.
rubbish.
You jump clear of them, striking out and smashing one clean out of its hideous mouth.
Your blade strikes one of the blood beast's real eyes with devastating effect. It slumps back into its pool, thrashing about in a frenzy. You seize the opportunity and run around the side of the pool to the tunnel exit.
Right, I'm out of there, but,
The tunnel
you know.
leads into a large room, its ceiling supported by several marble
Let's
pillars.
eat some more food.
As you enter the room, you see a strange beast to your right. It has the body of a lion with dragon-like wings attached to it, but its head is like that of an old bearded man.
Yeah. Very.
You recognize the beast. It is a manticore. Taking heed of the warning poem you took from the skeleton warrior, you watch out for its tail, which sprouts a profusion of sharp spikes at its tip, thick and hard as iron bolts. Knowing that the manticore will fire the spikes in its tail at you, you run for cover behind one of the
because I don't have a
pillars.
fucking shield.
Before you reach it, a volley of spikes flies through the air, and one of them sinks into your arm,
For fuck's sake.
costing you 2 stamina points and making you wish you still had a shield. You waste no time and attack the manticore with your sword before it has time to unleash more of its deadly
Come on,
spikes.
guys, we can do this. We can smash this manticore into pieces. It's got one more than me there, but I can do it. Yes.
The creature runs directly
Oh, hang on,
at
no.
you. You move too late,
I'm the other
and the
dice.
creature smashes you onto a wall,
Fuck's sake.
costing you valuable stamina.
Well, I'm eating that, so it's fine.
You seize an opportunity to attack the creature's leg,
Still doing crap though,
but
aren't
it's ready
I?
for you. And before you can strike, it rips your leg with its razor-sharp
Can I
claws.
at least win this one?
You run to avoid the whipping
For
tail, but
fuck's
stumble,
sake.
and a spike from it thuds agonizingly into your shoulder.
As you are wiping the manticore's blood from your sword, you are surprised to see a small man jump out from behind one of the marble pillars. He is dressed in a tight-fitting green tunic and looks quite harmless, although you are wary of the way he is holding an opaque glass ball with a shimmering green light. "Greetings,"
Yeah, whatever,
he
mate.
says cheerfully.
Greetings.
"My name is Igbot, the gnome, and I am the
Igbot.
trial master for your final test. Needless to say, my magical powers are great.
Final test. Okay. Cool. I'm going to eat my food
so
now.
you should not try to attack me. You may have learnt during your quest that gems play an essential part in the trial
got
of champions. The iron door in front of you is the victory exit, but there is only one way of opening it. 3 gems have to be put into the lock mechanism
I've only got one.
in the correct
I've only
order.
got one.
Each gem radiates a unique energy, which will trigger the mechanism. If you do it correctly, that is. But first, we need the correct gem.
I've only got one fucking gem.
First, you will need an emerald.
No.
The gnome shakes his head and says,
You don't have one.
I'm afraid that you have failed the trial of champions. Baron Sukumvit's Deathtrap Dungeon will keep its secrets for another year, as you will not be allowed to leave here. You are appointed my servant for the rest of your days to prepare and modify the dungeon for future contestants.
Piss off.
Perhaps, in another life, you will succeed.
You bastards. Right, so I think I should be able to scroll this way. Go right, so I'm here. What's this one? Is this the Buddha? Well, let's play that. See what happens.
There is a large idol
Yeah,
in
that's
the
the
center
Buddha.
of the cavern that must be 6 meters high.
Right, climb and take the jewels.
The idol is very smooth and will be difficult to
Don't give
climb.
a fuck. Get out there, mate.
But the rope you found earlier will help
Yes.
here, and you make it into a lasso.
So I ran all the way back,
You whirl the rope above
open
your
the door,
head and throw it up at the idol,
and I
smiling happily as it lands around its neck. You then
And I
tighten
got
the
the,
noose and
the
start
jewel.
to climb, hauling yourself up the rope. You are soon at the top of the idol, sitting on the bridge of its nose and holding on to the rope.
I wonder if I can do this and go
You draw
back.
your sword and wonder which jeweled eye to prize out
I want them all.
first.
Freaking right eye. Fuck it.
You try to force the point of your sword under the emerald eye. Much to your surprise, the emerald shatters on contact,
Bullshit.
releasing a jet of poisonous gas straight
Of
into your
course.
face. The gas knocks you out, and you release the rope, bouncing down the idol and crashing onto the stone floor.
To your death.
Your adventure ends here.
Okay, so let's try the other one. Play. And then
There is
climb it.
the idol is very.
Then left.
As you touch the idol's emerald eye, you hear a creaking sound below you. Looking down, you are shocked to see the 2 stuffed birds flying off. Their wings flap in jerky movements. But they are soon above you and look set to attack.
Okay, so
You'll fight the flying guardians one at a time, but reduce your skill by 2 during this combat because of your restricted position.
fuck off. Fucking 2.
The guardian snaps at you with its vicious
Yeah, let's get on with it. Right, so
claw.
yeah, okay.
Coming.
Because I'm interested to see if I go
crumpled
back,
form of the
will I
first
have the
flying
diamond,
guardian
the
falls
emerald,
crashing
sorry.
to the floor.
Right, second guardian. Wingardium Leviosa.
Guardian snaps at you with its vicious.
Let's crack on.
You're able. The guardian snaps at you.
Your
Right.
final swipe dispatches
So,
the second flying
I've got that one.
You look down and see the crumpled bodies of the 2 flying guardians
I
lying
reckon.
motionless on the floor. You start to prize out the idol's emerald eye with the tip of your
Yep.
sword. At last it comes free, and you are surprised by its weight when it falls into your hand. Hoping it may be of use later, you put it in your backpack.
Right, so I've got that. Climb down.
Back on the lasso loosens itself. Not much farther down the tunnel.
So if I go to my map now, I have to go that way, that way, that way, that way, that way, that way. So I'd have to go all the way up here just to win. Now, if I go back to this point, yeah, if I go back to this save point, will I have...
The tunnel leads into a large room.
Okay. So anyway, guys, that was really cool. I like that a lot. I think that I'd probably have to do some more exploring to get the other one, the diamond, I guess, or whatever else they want me to get. But I'm not going to actually try and finish this and beat the dungeon. I think that was a good ending, and I think that this game was really cool. Yeah, I'll definitely want to keep exploring this at some point. But for now, I'm going to leave it there. And if you did like that, please smash the like button or subscribe to see more videos. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye for now.